It is 100.5 WOW FM indeed that you're listening to. It's Saturday game day. The temperature has jumped up to 14.5 degrees, of course heading for a forecast maximum of 16 degrees. And as we just mentioned, you are listening to 100.5 WOW FM, which is home of Saturday game day. It's also home of the Drive Time show on Monday night with the great man Jeff Riddle, coach of Mawson Lakes, taking control of the wheels of steel to some extent. It's an amateur footy wrap-up. Just quickly working through the week, some of my favourite things. You've got the mixed grill at 6 a.m. on a Tuesday morning for all you early starters. That's with Wayne Lawson. True Blue with David Alexander. That's Australian folk and country. There's not too many stations you get to hear that on. It's a very interesting show indeed. The Goodness with Craig. It's hip hop and alternative. Dave loves his hip hop, don't you? Oh, wiki, Dave. Right.
Yeah, well, okay.
We've got Modern Madness with Matthew on a Friday at 6 p.m. with Drive Time hits. And Rockabilly Fever with Rob. That's Rockabilly and Doo-Wop. I'm not sure Doo-Wop was actually a type of music, but that's Saturday night at 10 p.m. if you're listening in tonight. So plenty of features there from the great WOW FM 100.5. Now we've got a very special treat because Dave is about to go one-on-one with one of. We've got some crazy mic issues going on at the moment. Dave's going to go one-on-one with a confidant and friend, a great man by the name of Lou Cailotto. So I'm going to hand over to Dave, and I think you're all set to go, aren't you, Dave?
I certainly am, mate. I'm excited.
Go your hardest, mate.
Yep. Well, this morning we've got the great man. I feel pretty honoured, actually, to go one-on-one with Louis. Louis, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Great to have you here. Now, some background on Louis, for those that aren't aware of it. Division 1 medal, 74-75. Division 3, 71. War Memorial Medal, and I'm assuming that's an Anzac Day medal, in 75. Yep. All-Australian, 76. That was a good year for you. That would have to have been a highlight that year.
Yep, definitely.
Because you, although you didn't win the medal, that was won by Mark Barber that year. And strangely enough, didn't make the All-Australian side or the state side, because that particular state side that year had Noel Lanier, Ross Haslam, another great footballer, Johnny Staker, John Caudry.
John Caudry,
yeah, from Flinders Park,
that's
with
right,
teammates, and Ray Buckley from Semi-Centrals. So it was a pretty good side.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was an honour to be playing in state football and with those great players.
They were some really good footballers. Then you left Flinders Park and decided to play a bit at Woodville.
Yeah, actually it was 76. I started off playing, training and playing league football at Woodville in early 76, and a few issues happened that I ended up going back to Flinders Park probably halfway through the season, and fortunate enough to end up playing in a premiership side.
Yeah, that was a pretty good year.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
You played in the first SAFA side for Flinders Park?
Yes, that's right, yeah.
My old mate won the medal that year, Desi Pilkington,
yeah.
who came from West Adelaide, but previous to that from St Dominic's.
That's right, and he ended up at Flinders Park.
Yeah, which St Dominic's guys weren't happy with, but it happened. Premierships, Flinders Park had about 24 premierships, amateur league premierships, but the 75 one, Adelaide Uni hammered you 14-15 to 4-9. That was.
I forgot.
No, I thought you might have forgot that, but you remembered 76 because that was a pretty good year for you as a footballer. 19-2 Flinders Park, Adelaide Uni 10-12.
Yeah.
And tell me you got on the frothies that night.
Apparently, yeah.
Yeah, what you can remember. And then in 77, Flinders Park 9-13, Semi-Centrals, which would have been sweet to beat Semi-Centrals 5-14.
There's a little bit of a story about that. We played at Richmond Oval, and I reckon there was probably about 4 or 5 goal breeze, and Semi-Centrals captain won the toss and kicked into it, and I think they ended up kicking their first goal halfway through the third quarter, so it was a mistake that they probably regret now.
Yeah, they were good times. Now, your role, you're currently the president of the AFL Masters in South Australia.
That's right, yeah.
What is that, the old over 35s comp?
It is over 35s, as some people would refer it to the old farts, but yeah, it's over 35s, and if people don't know much about it, there's not many different rules in comparison to the normal Saturday football. Just one, some of the rules are different rules are one person up per ruck, no knees when you're going for a mark, and obviously no sling tackles. But besides that,
no speckies. You're not allowed to climb a bloke's back.
no speckies, which facilitates probably getting your knees up. Because, like I said, it's footy for fun, and we don't play for premiership points or anything like that. So yeah.
Some guys take it too seriously.
There are people that players that sort of step over the whole issue of football for fun, but they soon get sorted out both by the umpires and also their teammates. But majority of the players do play in the right spirits. So yes, it's good energy, and the social aspect after the game is great as well.
Yeah, I've heard that you like the social aspect after the game quite a bit, from what I've been told.
Well, again, apparently, but I'm not.
You can't remember.
No,
You're
I can't
taking
remember.
the fifth, aren't you?
I am.
You're taking the fifth.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys at Flinders Park spoke to me last week. You couldn't come in last week, and a bit crook, but a few of them put a bit of dirt on you, and I can't believe how much people want to shaft you.
No comment.
No comment, yeah. Now tell me, I can remember playing one of the game years ago, and there was one team, they were playing for sheep stations, and I got cleaned up by a bloke by the name of Bray, who was playing for the Southern or Western team. We played against him at Paraka Oval, and your old mate Billy McDonald was playing. I think he was coached then. But this Bray guy, and I believe he played for West Adelaide years ago, Richie Bray or something like that, but he cleaned me up. But they were playing for sheep stations.
There are some clubs that do take it more intensely, but but like I said before, they soon get told the way it should be played and things like that. We've also got send off rules that if a player oversteps the mark, the umpire's got the discretion to send him off for 10 minutes or even a quarter or so forth.
Okay, you play all the clubs, and there's a number of clubs, Clare and all that.
Yeah, we've got 16 clubs, 12 metro. There's a team based at Murray Bridge, one in Clare, Mintara actually, one in the Riverland, and also we play probably about 3 or 4 games against a team from Broken Hill. Because of the travel distance, teams are a bit reluctant to travel the 500 kilometres up to Broken Hill.
Yeah, I remember going up there one year at Pakey and the Woodcock boys playing. I think Graham Malloy played that year as well. And I'm not a big bloke, but the guy I stood was about 3 pickaxes across.
Oh yeah.
And we played a curtain raiser, the grand final. It got hammered, but I can tell you the beer at Broken Hill tastes just as good as it does here in Adelaide.
It certainly does. I was up there a couple of years ago umpiring one of the games between Broken Hill and Repside from Adelaide, and again the Repside got hammered by Broken Hill, but the hospitality of those boys up there are
fantastic.
Second to none.
Yep. Yeah. They play the games. You're saying they don't play for premiership points. So the next step from there, they have a state game. And there's a carnival.
There's a national carnival every year, made up of obviously all the states. Unfortunately, one of the states decided to do their own thing and pulled out. So so it's 2 like Vic Metro, Vic Country, New South Wales, Tasmania, so forth. And this year the carnival is in Townsville. Last year it was in Maroochydore. Next year we're not sure, but it's a great time. The good thing about it is that you don't get picked to play. If you want to go on the state side, you just put your money up front and go. And there's 5 age divisions: 35s to 40s, 40 to 45s, 45s to 50s, 50 to 55s, and then the old fellas, the over 55s, which are...
That's what I was talking to Nicky Porter from Greenacres, who plays in the comp, and he said about the age groups. So there's the 40 to 45. Is that just one selected group that play against each other, or are the 45s, 55s all playing in the same team?
Well, here in South Australia?
Yeah.
Here in South Australia, we haven't got enough players to have age groups. So basically what happens is if one side or when two sides play, you could have a guy that's 35, 36 standing a guy that's 50, 51.
Yeah.
But in the National Carnival, they have their age groups, and you can't go up because you're not old enough, but you can drop down to the age group down.
It's interesting, the Victorians are obviously in that comp, and my son played last year at Victoria over there, and he had one game that came up, and he stood 1 week, he stood Liberatory, and he said, bloody hell, he said, he's as fit as he was at AFL level and plays just as well. He said the second week I lined up against Glen Archer, and he said, shit, was that an education? He said he kicked 10 goals, and he said he is just awesome, his body strength.
Yeah, Victoria, Vic Metro, they play it a little bit, or they obviously play Aussie rules, but they play for premiership points, promotion, demotions, relegations, best and fairest, leading goal kickers, everything. But they basically play like a Saturday football competition.
Interesting, because I mean I watched the EJ Whitten game a few weeks ago, and some of those guys are still in pretty good shape.
Oh yeah,
playing footy.
Yeah.
Now tell me, Flinders Park Footy Club. As you know, a few boys have sent me some info.
Mm-hmm.
One of them said to me that you're umpiring at the moment.
Yeah.
You umpire the C grade.
Div 2 reserves.
Div 2 reserves. How do you find that?
I enjoy it. I enjoy it. If I didn't enjoy it, I wouldn't be out there. Yeah.
And Watto tells me you lead the younger boys astray a fair bit too, in the club rooms. From what I've heard.
I'll speak to Watto later, but no, that's not right, no.
That's different to what I've heard.
Well,
they tell me you like a frothy.
I'm partial to a beer,
Yeah. What about the Southeast Golf Day? Can you tell me what happened on that day?
Southeast.
When you went with Johnson?
Oh, Bobby Johnson?
Yeah. What happened on that day?
No, it's too far back to remember.
You're going to take the fifth on all of these, aren't you?
Absolutely.
Yeah. What
My
about,
wife might be listening.
Yeah. Well, funny you mention your wife. Now, New Year's Eve, a few years back, there was a function on, and Louis must have had a few frothies and decided to, when they were all leaving, Louis took off running, and everybody decided, gee, where's Louis gone? We can't find him. So they all went running. And they're all in cars driving around streets. It might have been down Smosh Way, and no one could find Louis. So they all thought they'd regroup, get back to your place, get back there, and bugger me dead. There's Louis in bed, dead to the world. Is that true? You ran home.
Yes, I'll admit to that. I didn't run home. I remember walking down South Road, and middle of South Road, and some chap picked me up and took me home.
You don't know who the bloke was?
No.
Gee, you could have got yourself with a few under the belt.
Probably.
Yeah. Now, footy strips. Any good stories you could tell us and put a few guys in the poo on a footy strip?
Yeah, there's a few, but...
Anyone you could put dirt on at the parks?
They're not involved with Flinders Park, but I remember when we went to Launceston, and what happened is that the older guys... They bought this roast, and they cooked the roast and things like that, left in the oven. They went out down the pub, and a couple of young guys broke into their apartment and pinched the roast. And when they got back, they were saying, "Where the hell was the roast gone?" And they got a phone call, and the guy said, "Look out your window, and there's a bone hanging up on the clothesline." So that's a clean one.
Did you go on any footy trips with Jeff Emerald?
Jeff Emerald?
Only
on state.
Is that an education?
It is, yes, yeah.
Because we were going to get Jeff on later in the year.
Okay.
And with him and Jimmy Katsaris, there's a couple of stories that I got during the year, and they were very interesting. But I'm sure you would probably feature in some of these.
Possibly again, but but too far back. Yeah, so I'm not going to. I'm not going to say.
I'm not going to get into it.
No.
Okay, and winding up. AFL Masters. Is there? Who do people contact if there's guys listening that want a game? Who do they contact?
Okay, AFL Masters. I'll just give them a bit of a plug. Next Saturday, the 28th, we've got a 30-year function. It's 30 years since Super Rules AFL Masters started, and it's down here at the Westpac Centre at West Lakes. And for anybody that had played Super Rules over the last 30 years that want to go to that, it's contact me. I'll give them my mobile. It's 0409 281 230, and just give me a phone call and I'll let you know how to get tickets. And the same thing if people want to play Masters football, to contact me as well, and through the website, and I'll put you in contact with your nearest club.
Excellent.
Okay, so yeah.
And they can get on the website under AFL Masters and have all the info.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, it's been great having you in here, Louis.
My pleasure.
Thanks very much for coming in and giving us insight on Masters, and we look forward to coming down and giving a bit of stirring at Flinders Park this year, and I'm sure that a few boys are going to get a serve tonight in the club.
Oh, I think so. Thanks for having me. Thank you.
Great.